Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Caves of Cud, where today I think the plan is we're going to knock out that other historical site while we continue to wait for Sunslag to make itself apparent. I guess, okay, you know what, here's a thought. If Sunslag is what it sounds like, an extremely hot liquid, then maybe that's what the asphalt caves are about. Maybe we need to go down to the bottom, like the very bottom where the scary crabs are, and try to like. I could probably, well, I don't know if I could fight a giant magma crab now, but I'm certainly more capable of it than I was the last time I was down there. Okay, that's interesting. I think I'm gonna stick to the plan and go to the other historical site that's in the reef for right now, but because that's still value, that's still getting tougher, that's still finding cool new items to help us win and murder. But that is an interesting idea. Actually, I think that is maybe going on the list for after this, if we have not solved all of our problems by the time we are done here. So let us. Boy, I have a lot of weird shit in my inventory. Caves of Cud. Yeah, let's go back to the freehold. I am not seeing. Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say I am not seeing merchant restock messages, so we don't need to check the merchants. But it turns out the Dromad Trader and our friend Tilly have indeed restocked. Bep has not. Bep restocks more slowly, I guess. Spiked ogre fur gloves is kind of neat. What kind of gloves am I wearing now? Okay, so that's a flawless crysteel halberd. Our halberds are axe class weapons. Obviously, this is a two-handed weapon, which is not 100% ideal because I do enjoy the shield, but and I mean we'd be looking for like some Zetachrome, right? That's the thing we really want is Zetachrome upgrades. All right, you know what? I'm not going to stress about it. If it was a one-handed axe or I don't know. Chopping pieces off of that mech might not even be a reasonable thing to want to do. Oh, Bep is still... Bep is not... Okay, that's actually really interesting. So we haven't beguiled anything since the last time we beguiled Bep. He's still beguiled. And as such, he is not refreshing. So that that helps us understand exactly how that does and doesn't work. Definitely means I need to go and trick somebody else. Petro III stopped at a market in Nalan Morass in Prison Province Karak. At an obscure shop, he purchased a shining pistol and named it Shining Deer Bapetterboon. Well, that's definitely not one of the things we've discovered. And in fact, Karak is a holy site that we just did not know about. Because somehow still there are those. That's a thing. Okay, well. This was definitely worth the visit. Obviously, I'm not necessarily excited about a pistol, but... journal... Historic sites. Karak is just on the other side of the lake. Interesting. Well, maybe we'll swing through as well. Today, though, the Silos of Kana, right? This is the one we didn't do. What are the words on that gun? Somebody read my gun to me. The Fateful Moon, Ape's Friend. No, we did the closer one, right? I would have done the closer one on account of my discover a village. On account of my intense laziness. I would have done the closer one. Apparently I have stepped into a village. We've discovered Suppur. Well, I guess auto-explore. If it's a village, it's probably fairly safe to... Oh, except I keep stepping on all the coral. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Hopefully nobody minds. A stone obelisk with a scene from the history of the village. The foulness of the Gyrewites was revealed to the people of Suppur through Monkey Kitlayatal Actlatrice, legendary Svardum Eld. Okay. And woe to that person who champions attacking artistry. Terrible. Terrible stuff. Who would champion such a thing? I do love to discover a weird new village. I really don't think that the Auto Explorer is, like, thinking through the order of its actions here. It's definitely not exploring these tiles in an efficient fashion. I know pathfinding is tricky, but come on now. Aren't the only unrevealed tiles at this point in that mass in the... Okay. I'm so worried that... okay, I'm gonna stop my body because I'm so worried that it's gonna do something crazy. We're gonna accidentally step in a clam or something. A desecrated marble statue of a Gyre-White of Agolgot. Yeah, these guys got feelings about Gyre-Whites, that's for sure. Here we have Marayurem the Judicious. We are a society who honor defending artistry and denounce the Gyre-Whites. I pronounce that word a different way every time, just to keep y'all on your toes. So, you are loved by hermits, disliked by unshelled reptiles. You have some pretty decent gear on. Do you have cool stuff for trade? Not really. Do you have a job? Talk to Schwuggershruk to the east, to the southwest. Wow, that doesn't say east even a little bit. Like the chariot to the babe, so defending artistry to us. I'm having difficulty parsing that. What is the chariot's what is the chariot's relationship to the babe? It's bigger and moves faster? The chariot can run the babe over, so defending artistry is to... Okay, I'm gonna go talk to Schwugger, whatever. There is a legendary reef hermit here. Also, the village tinker. I do love a good village tinker. Hey, stop running away, I'm trying to talk to you. Wait, no, is that not the guy? Was that not him? Okay, this is a slightly different shade of blue. Drifter, we've been speaking to priestesses and we learned about a nearby location forgotten to our people. 6th Pentagram Nailoruk. What mysteries might this place contain? The nectar of the eaters? Livestock? A shrine to defending artistry? Well, we must know. If you locate it for us, we will compensate you. It's located somewhere between 2 and 6 parasangs south of the lair of Ultihuatl legendary Svardum Eld. Yeah, I mean, I'll try. Probably. And then you're a tinker. Do you know anything cool? Not really. You know how to pump out normality gas, which I don't think is actually a useful thing for me to do. In fact, it would probably be counterproductive, honestly. There is a warden here who appears to maybe be a Gyre-White or just a robe. It might just be an animate robe. Hard to say. Yeah, indeed. Hey there. All right, you're not the kind of warden I can water ritual with. Fair enough. You're just a normal reef hermit. Which is to say, it's still some kind of rad items in the inventories. I did want to check out their legendary... Okay, this one's legendary. His weapon is slightly yellower than his compatriots. Do you have anything cool? Not really. You have a wooden buckler for some reason. Okay, that's just a clay jug full of oil. And then there's a sort of a weird cemetery in the middle of town. Fell from a cliff trying to recover a lost camel bladder. Injected one Uber Nostrum injector too many. Died of chemical causes. In some way. Ain't that true of all of us? So we're totally gonna care about the thing they said. I've already forgotten what the direction was. It's where from the guy? Where from the lair? 2 to 6 parasangs south. Why, friend, that's about as south as things get. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so... I mean, we can try to run this down real quick. The rewards for these village quests are, like... they're pretty real. Sometimes, at least. How does this character get along with Svartums? Svartums are neutral to us. Okay, well, that will certainly make things easier. And fish. Fish also are basically cool with me. There's always lots of weird violence going on in these areas, though. Oh, hold on now. That, briefly, we saw a, okay. Maybe I should be very fucking careful, actually. I'm gonna precog. Because I think we all saw, a legendary mech, I think. And that would be potentially pretty fun, but also potentially very scary. It is perhaps time to equip the phase cannon. This might be one of those moments. So at this range, I'm not going to be able to phase cannon these guys. Let's just give them the lays. Lamprey, not usually a good sign, and hostile to me. Domesticated, though, so probably on the side of the bad dudes. Proton beam hit me from 1,000,000 miles away for what I would consider to be just kind of an upsetting amount of damage, really. These guys do not want me to have vision of them. And that makes sense, you know. So you are actually very badly damaged. Oh, come on. Penetrate. All we need is one good hit. Okay, it's time to probably start employing the cannon. Wow, yeah, that'll do the fucking job. This gun is something else. A bead has been drawn on me. I force bubble about that. How did you get frozen? What is going on over there? Are you some kind of ice knight? Implanted. I mean, like, the gear you're wearing is actually not very impressive. Alright, managed to cook that one. It's 1,000 XP for showing up late to a battle. So I think the deal is just that somebody over there has a freeze ray, and presumably it's that guy, right? Okay, a fat photon. Sorry. Oh no, a fat photon. You gotta watch out for these guys. They're ripping those fat photons. So the thing that's frozen here, is this a person? No, that's just garbage on the floor. I'm gonna need to get vision. Clairvoyance would be helpful. Don't have it. Okay, so there's another mech. My hearing indicates that there's another mech. Well, I guess I'm going to just kind of shoot... Oh. Also, I can see you. Well, you know what? Splat. I guess I'm just going to try to shoot at the markers. No, unlock. Targeting is always a little finicky. Maybe I should use my... Let's use the laser. The brain laser, sorry. To aim at these guys just to, like, clear obstructions. Actually, it kind of looked like it went right to them. Like, the brain laser doesn't miss, but it also doesn't usually just ignore things in between you and the target. Oh my god, it is so annoying to use this thing. the targeting relay does not, the targeting thing does not respect your locked and unlocked status from previous shots, so you have to fix it every single time, and it's very annoying. Alright, are you part of the crew? You are a domesticated conservator. You are an embarrassment to your kind. Did I just whiff? Okay, there we go. That hit. Trying to make sure this stays scrolled down all the way. So their party is very annoying, for sure. I really wish I had friends. Oh, shit. I pressed the button to, you know... That's also very annoying. I pressed the button to confirm the shot, and it pulled us back to the start of the vision. Well... Yeah, incredibly annoying, actually. This guy with the freeze ray, I almost think we should leave him alive, because he does seem to be doing more damage to their cause on the whole than he is to ours, but you know, probably best we take them out as we can. Oh, I didn't... I re-equipped my gun after starting the precog. That's a silly error. Let's go ahead and focus you down. And then, like, I don't really want to let the mech get over here. There we go. Okay, so they're having at us in a more serious way here. Hi, Mecha Right Mather. So again, we have this is probably almost exactly the same creature, right? The 2200 health and but basically we're not gonna be able to kill this. It's just too much damn. You know, one thing that is notable here is that this thing only has 15 AV, which puts it in a much more reasonable place to take damage from my 16 AV gun than the 20 AV enemy that we were fighting before. But I don't think there's any chance realistically of us beating this thing in combat, so let's just teleport up to here. I was gonna see if we could like pick off one or two more before we leave, but it does look like maybe that would not be a good idea. We're getting decent XP from them, is all I'm thinking. But you know what, let's just bounce. Let's try searching down a parasang. So this is one of those things where when we get it, it will be obvious to us the instant that we... oh, wow. It'll be clear the moment we enter the screen that the ruin's on, so we don't need to highlight everything. We just need to enter various screens and also probably eat something. Preserve our fresh foods. Apparently I had some Vanta petals. Alright, so right now all I'm doing is searching the east and center tiles. I do need to move over here to the west at some point, and I should be a little bit more careful probably about walking in places that I can't see, because Lord knows there's weird shit in these, you know, in these screens. We could step in a clam, or any kind of fucked up thing could happen. I don't know. You discovered the lair of a legendary star kraken. And then we leave that screen, right? Immediately. And never come back to it. I don't know about never, but like, obviously hanging out where there is a legendary star kraken, even if we do not. Oh, okay, we found it. And that's all we needed to do, right? I don't have to engage with it. I'm not here to explore the ruin. I'm here to get a quest reward. So, let us return to our friend eventually, circuitously. And get something really cool. I found it. Magnetized boots, data disk for some stuff we don't care about, or, you know, that's not so exciting, but there's an Uber Nostrum injector in there. That's not nothing. Was I able to water ritual with you? I was not. What's my reputation with unshelled reptiles looking like right now? Because if we water ritual with the mayor, we're going to lose some unshelled reptile reputation. And if it doesn't really change anything, then obviously we may as well. We are pretty negative. Docile ones won't attack you, but we're at the level where if we tick down, I believe that'll change. Well, tortoises are at 415, and they're not any different. Yeah, we can probably go ahead and do the water ritual. Maybe they'll have something neat to teach us. You know, villages have a variety of cool skills. I can hear you. I can hear you running away from me. Reputation with the villagers of Suppur, and okay, only minus 50 with unshelled reptiles. Rubber fillet over hop couscous and sautéed tongue. And you do not, in fact, have a skill to teach. So I guess I'll take your recipe. Live and drink, nerd. So what does that recipe do? Is it one that I would ever actually want to make? Rubber fillet, let's see here. Whenever you jump, you shoot out up to 3 sticky tongues per sticky tongue at rank 10. 3 sticky tongues per sticky... What? What? Okay. Well, that's maybe not the most useful thing we've ever grabbed. But, you know, it was an interesting stop-off. Okay, so once again, a location where there are hostile saps. Don't love it. I'm trying to wait for that thing to get past the fish, so I don't accidentally kill those fish. Although those fish, yeah, those are innocent, neutral fish. Pretty scary looking creatures just north of this wall that we're looking at. Maybe I don't want to do this area after all. Maybe we should just go back to the... What is that? What even is that? What even is that? It's a salt-encrusted memory eater. And it's neutral to me. Well, that's not something I want to stick around for. I think that guy just teleported himself. Oh, no, he's over there. I don't know what's going on. What I do know is that I will not brook being approached by this sap. Okay. So, it's a rhinox, you know. Standard rhinox behavior. So I need to back up 2 spaces to not get hit here. Fortunately, we have the ability to back up 2 spaces in a single movement. That was a clever move to do the slightly angled upward charge so that I couldn't just sidestep him. Don't like to see that level of intelligence in my hostile rhinoxes. I really don't want to kill these random prism perch. I wonder how often it can do that. It's probably a pretty scary creature, but it's also probably not very smart, is my guess. So I am obviously going to try to beguile it. I guess this is the kind of thing where you could precog. Maybe it'd be a good idea. All right, beguile. welcome to the team. Wet rhinox. Come, let us go and experience nightmares. I mean, I have an idea what a memory eater does, right? A lot of tongue tyrants over there. Don't necessarily love that. No, I think we're good. This vision has been okay so far. I'm gonna ask you, my new friend, if you could just step over to like here-ish. Oh yeah? Okay. Step over to there and get... No? I guess there must be a bunch of Vanta Black over there or something. I don't like not having vision. I'm gonna go ahead and just fire some sound-guided lasers. Yeah, alright. I mean, it's working. Seems like we're walled away from... Nope. Yeah, the Vanta Black seems to be completely deadening the senses of the bats, which is kind of weird when you think about it for even a moment. So there's a Spartum Eld, there's a Sultan Croc up there. Very aggressive. I agree that it is good to deal with the bats, but come on now. Break that down into some bark. Okay. So it's cool that he has the ability to teleport back to me immediately. That's a neat... She gulps and shivers tufts off. Filthy. Remember, Delver, Barathrum will look kindly upon your generous heart, Moon King. Well, now I feel bad all over again, because I did absolutely get Barathrum killed. Okay, I see our opportunity to descend, and I think we should take it. Some weird shit's going on over there, and I am not inclined to stick around to be part of it, if I don't absolutely have to be. Nothing in the basket. Now, I'm cool. I'm cool with regular Dawning Apes. You are a scary Dawning Ape that is hostile to me. Well, what I have here is a powerful energy weapon and a force bubble, and that's how I'm going to solve this problem. Wow, you guys are tougher than holy hell. That was a critical hit against the wall? Yep, against the wall. Stop dodging. What are you... How are you doing that? Okay, I got him down to 7 HP, and I was like, no, the brain laser will finish him off. And it didn't. What an embarrassing lack of damage. Okay, so this is not... It's weird how many of these places at this sort of like... on the eastern side of the map have a... have like holes in their walls that lead onto maps that are not part of the dungeon. This doesn't seem so bad. The Dawning Apes are going to be a consistent issue, I think. I don't really know what to do about that because it takes us about a year to kill one of them, and they don't seem to be vulnerable to my my pleading or my storied eroticisms. So yeah, you play with those guys out there. I turn on the force bubble, and we just have to blow an entire clip of this stuff. Well, you know what? I have my geomagnetic disc. The failure glyph has flashed. What? It still has a chem cell. Why does the what? The fuck is wrong with this disc? All right, well, while I'm in here, let me change out my power cell. All right, we'll do it this way. It's fine. We have a lot of We have a lot of power cells. Brain laser? Brain laser. Okay, crazy shit's going on out there. I can only handle dawning apes every so often. I don't know why the text for rifling through trash is black. That's weird, right? And presumably this is my rhinox because got him. Because it doesn't seem like there are naturally... It doesn't. Rhinoxes are not part of the cult. This was a naturally occurring rhinox because we're in rhinox territory, I guess. Ah, hell. Well, okay. That one dawning ape has been removed from the situation. Here's a question. Oh, I think we're getting Vanta Blacked again. There's a bunch of turrets, and I would really like to know what their deal is, but I'm nervous about getting close enough to them to find out. You are kind of getting beat up a little bit, and I do appreciate your efforts. Could you maybe step to this tile just real quick and tell me what you see over there? What he sees is nothing, interestingly. Because if these turrets are potentially friendly, then, you know, obviously it behooves us to... Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was talking about, to get them involved as quickly as possible. Let's go ahead and turn on the force bubble. Okay. Yeah, it's been my experience, even though technically it doesn't seem like the corner should matter, it has definitely been my experience that if you're shooting at something that has a little bit of a corner on you, it is way better to move over, and I guess the game must do some, even when it shows you a line of effect that doesn't intersect with the wall, the game has some kind of partial cover system going or something. It's just a guess based on observations. Oh, that's a sap that also gets brain lasers. Yeah, if there's a lot of dawning apes, like we've gone through most of our supply of power cells already. Enchantment. It knows no such quality, that it should be remembered that though the most that can lead you to cook out, when the flat of its silk home are stuck to the surface, only to be assured that the answer... some advanced academic text there. Can't really follow it, if I'm honest. I'm sure she'll spend some time in the tomb. Chef sealed the gates to the base of the ancient charm, are worn to nubs by the consideration of the humanoid denizens of Cud Country. We can't stop here. You really shouldn't. You really shouldn't stop in Cud Country. This is a normcore? It's a beastly normcore. It's unpowered. Why is there just a... Hate these trees, hate these trees. Okay. Okay, that's a something got punched through the wall hole. Not a naturally occurring part of the dungeon. Man, there are just lithofexes everywhere out here, huh? I guess that must also be a naturally occurring creature. So, these apes and stuff. Ah, I can cook with hostile creatures nearby. I just need to ask nicely. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like lure things near the nightmare. It does look like we're losing turrets, though. All right. I'm going to ask you to let me come out here. You are part of the cult, actually. And so you shall receive the standard introduction that every member of the cult receives to my blade. By blade, I mean, you know. So chain laser emplacement. There was a rocket turret here, but it is gone now. The rhinox has been de-intelligencified. Oh no, now how will it go back to its difficult but fulfilling work as a professor of mathematics? While wandering around Library Province Kennep, unshelled reptiles performing secret ritual, fateful visage. Yeah, we've all... Listen, I've heard this one before. Oh, we've been briefly given vision in the distance of a shrine to Bapatra III. About a clan of flowers performing a secret ritual. A lot of secret rituals out there in Cudland. So the Vanta Black is preventing things from seeing us, it seems like. And I can hear that they are there. If I actually hit one of them, it seems like I hit the monkey there. I hit something to the west. That's all the information I get is I hit something. I think this monkey is approaching. And it's probably pretty mad on account of I shot it with a gun. Actually, doesn't appear to be the case. Stupid phase cannon. I think we're probably just kind of low on cells right now. Went through a lot pretty quickly there. Yeah, and they recharge, but you know, it's not... It's far from instant. We could go to one of the biodynamics or something. These take a while to run out, right? But this thing can draw power like nobody's business, though. If the Sultan Croc charges me, as long as it doesn't dismember my head immediately or something, we can do some decent work on that, I think. I can make a friend. Okay, I got punched into next week and also phased out of reality. Is this the badly injured one? It is. You know, I didn't think until I fired about whether or not this was going to actually work because I'm not in phase with the ape. But I mean, I hit him. I hit him once. Maybe I can't... Well, he's flinching out of the way, though. Yeah, that got him. I guess I'm firing a phase cannon. Does it say that it... Noise is sucked out of time and expectancy of cross-plane fusion. Yeah, I guess the projectiles must just automatically be multi-phase. So why else would you call it a phase cannon? Also, we drained that biodynamic cell very fucking quickly. But, good news. The enemies are full of ammunition. Also, these chain laser emplacements are fucking... They're going totally sick house on somebody over here. No, precog's good. We're good. We're good. That was a good outcome. Are we actually shooting at anything? I guess they were trying to hit that strength sap. I see the Vanta Bloom. Can I kill it with a laser? No. Okay. Things have some advantage, for sure. So, is it just me, or have we not received... Oh, well, I guess I beguiled. I was going to say, I haven't received a message telling us that the rhinox was dead, but we also haven't seen that rhinox in a damn hot minute. But, yeah, I beguiled the croc instead of proselytizing it, so the rhinox was freed from our service at wherever it was at the moment that happened, which is not a place that I am necessarily sure of. So you are beguiled. Okay, you get the spiel. Welcome to the team. Where the hell are the stairs? Sultan Croc became overwhelmed with terror. Well, good luck, large monkey. You are in a bad place right now. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. So first things first, that's a free crysteel battle axe. Obviously, we'll take it. Gold nugget, I mean, fine. Time dilation grenade seems good. Seems like a good kind of thing to have. Where have we not explored? There's something behind. There's room behind this wall. Okay, but it's just further wall. I guess there's... Aha! Corners. Gotta check all your corners. So I'm pretty annoyed to see that there's kudzu here. Hate that for me. Oh. Let's laze this monkey. Alright, good charging, friends. I want to make sure I'm not shooting my crocs. Okay, you know, I was worried when we first saw this place about the number of saps. And I don't think that was necessarily wrong. Saps are dangerous to a character in a way a lot of other enemies aren't. But we have the tools, and I should have trusted in the toolkit a little bit more. I guess at this point in the adventure, kudzu is little more than an annoyance. In the very early game, kudzu can really fuck you up. A rusted copper nugget. But at this point, we have all that it takes to... we can just fix any random piece of gear. This is also flawless crystal gauntlets. Okay, so there's no reason to pick those up. I couldn't remember if I was wearing flawless or not. Anything that got rusted, I'm sure, would be a very cheap repair. Alright, I am going to ask y'all to go around this corner first, if you don't mind. Oh, it might be... Nope, never mind. I was going to say it might be like a Vanta Black situation, but actually, it was not. It totally was not. You know, I would prefer that you just, like, not do this thing that you're doing. I'm gonna jump. Hooah. And then I'm going to turn on my force bubble to push you away from me. There you go. Alright, let's head in, friends. Oh, and I should be... No, not the force field. Okay, I turned the force bubble off for the game to remember that there's blood. Ah, that's salty blood, though. I think you need unadulterated blood for the biodynamic cell. Okay, I'm always a little worried when they're berserk that they're going to attack me, because I can't remember what it was, but I definitely have had some enemy do that. When it was beguiled, it was still... Oh, poor rusted interdictor. I mean... I guess I could mostly just ignore the kudzu or let it get teleported. Although it actually looks like these guys are maybe a little afraid to actually to commit on that. Okay, let's let the croc kill the mirror bug. Oof. Big bite there, buddy. Maybe wanna take it a little bit slower than that, just in life in general. Just a lone pestle just sitting out here. Some vine wafers, a bunch of mirror bugs, which suggests probably the presence of a mirror. I don't know. There's probably nothing else going on here. We should probably just hit the... We saw the stairs already. We should just hit them. All right. We're just trying to find our way to the bottom. Are these just giant amoebas? They are indeed. A little embarrassed that I managed to not one-shot that amoeba. Are you a live husk? It's hard to tell. That's a flawless crystal battle axe. I picked up a flawless one, right? No, I did not. This one is flawed. What am I doing? Let's, I guess, initiate the force bubble. Okay. There's a lot of bats, but we should be okay. Let me grab this battle axe, because it is the thing that we want. I don't really... I mean, whatever. I don't need it. I was right about that, but I may as well pick it up. Alright, the crocs seem to be doing their thing. Just gonna precog and kind of step into the larger room here. I mean, they're doing a great job of charging down the bats, which is really helpful. The active charge skill helps, for sure. I want to feel like I was doing my part there. I'm sure they had that bat under control. Also, they can definitely tell which ones are actually the basilisks and which ones are just the husks, and that's useful. No, that was an okay precognition. I probably didn't need to do the thing at all. Weird that there would be a bunch of cave spiders, like normal-ass cave spiders in here. No, don't attack my own... Okay, can we not... I'm so nervous to press toward them for fear that it will decide to attack one of them again. Not that I think that anything necessarily will happen. It's just like, why? Let's go ahead and... take those apart. Some cool loot in the chests, at least. Don't mind finding a 7-bit. What I'd really love to find, of course, is the fucking stairs. How is this spider still alive? Why are we just letting this spider live? Okay, I guess the stairs are over on the west part of the map. Gotta keep my eye out. Whenever they land a dismember, they're gonna create some loose blood. What did they chop off there? His hindfoot? I suppose I should be paying attention for, face chops. Okay, y'all gonna be okay? It's a very small amount of corrosive gas, but I know not everybody handles it like Nutria Dampcrest. Yeah, I think part of what's going on is that it's a little like the rules of hostility are a little weird with the fact that these guys can frenzy. And so we're seeing my character treating them as enemies sometimes when they shouldn't be treated as enemies. And that's annoying. Alright, I don't think there's a particularly strong reason for us to stick around and kill more saps. Let's just head down. Oh, that's a very aggressively placed sap. There's actually a lot of saps right here at the very beginning. I'm trying my best to defend you, friends. Yeah, it really is just like every kind of scary stat bat is in this cult. I wonder if they always all appear together. If from a game perspective, the species is sap, and then the other, whatever specifics are just randomly determined. Or I had presumed each of them would be kind of treated as a separate creature because they do separate things. But I think what we're seeing here definitely suggests that it is the game treating all saps as one kind of thing. Hey, buddy, you should kill that. I don't know how we forgot what we were doing here, but please make with the murders. You are a powerful Sultan, Croc, and that thing is just an asshole. Don't love this. Okay. Maybe they don't think to attack the thing until it begins to display aggression toward me, and so before the bats see me, they're not targeted. Friend, please do not forget. Murders. You're neutral, right? Yeah, you're not part of the cult. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. They're not fighting with the gusto that they once used. The Dawning Apes are going to be tough on them. Cool. Do I want a new mutation? Yes. Okay, these are interesting. Sunder Mind is just raw ranged brain damage. Each round you make a mental attack versus mental armor. Temporal Fugue is potentially really powerful. I'm always a little leery of things like this because I feel like I do not know what copies of me are going to do. I have some pretty powerful weaponry, right? But I mean, as far as increasing our killing power goes, dealing with a 2200 health monster robot, this might be just the thing. All right, at the risk of perhaps doing something deeply foolish, we're taking that. And then I am rapidly advancing corrosive gas generation. All right, just in case you needed to be reminded, please attack the Dawning Ape, and I'm going to get the fuck out of the way. No, I'm not. This is a friend. Yeah, see, he's frenzied. So he's considered to be hostile, I guess. Yeah, brackish blood. I stepped in it, so it's all fucked up. Did you stop attacking the ape? No, he's doing it sometimes. The ape doesn't seem to be fighting back, actually, which is interesting. Okay, well, ape down. Are you still frenzied? You are. I'm gonna step back a second. Are you frenzied? Yes, so I probably shouldn't try to walk past you. What if you entered the room? I mean, that's... okay. This is an oily ogre ape's right hand. Okay. Just so many pieces of a thing. An oily dawning ape's face. That's only +2 ego. I like a good +3 ego face. I will collect such a face. Can never have enough. I'm sort of curious about this next room. So, like, it should be pretty easy for us to sort of run the house here, because most of the things that would fight us are going to get annihilated by turrets right away. A legendary glowpad who is hated by frogs and loved by flowers. How do frogs and flowers and trees feel about me? This is an opportunity to adjust reputations. Trees don't love me. Flowers and frogs. Okay, we're kind of in the neutral band with all of them. So I could kill you to gain love with frogs and trees. I could... I mean, I don't... Does flower reputation matter very much? I don't think it does. I think we're gonna blow up this glow pad. And the 5th Bepatarian family, I'm not well loved by. A fish has jumped in front of it. Okay. Yay, frogs are now indifferent to me. There's a lot of reputation increase, actually. Gaining rep with trees is probably somewhat relevant, at least. That Vanta bloom wasn't actually hurting anybody. I didn't need to do that. Okay, crocodile's coming. Apparently it heard that we were on the way. Okay. My friends here have remembered that we are broadly in aggressive stance against creatures, sort of things living in the world. Already salty. Damn it. Hard to keep liquids unadulterated here in Cud. Everybody's tracking salt everywhere all the time. What is your Tinker type? Blast cannons. Is that just a red book on the ground? In Macom Id. This large print volume is made of hand-pulped and pressed brindstock paper. The following is an excerpt from the travel diary of Kaylin Sandshell, who generously donated her leather-bound volumes to the monastery of the illustrious Heart of Chrome. May they remain forever preserved. To the aspiring wanderer and votary of Carthax the athlete, few vistas rouse the imagination like the coral spans and spongy buttresses of the Palladium reef. I state here what's known as fact, that the great crumbling edifice is moated by Lake Hinnom and her algae blooms, that the east-prattling soup brooks of the Rainbow Wood spill out from under their canopy of spores and onto the webbed feet of the white ash, and that from the north, too, mangroves line the shore and pierce their roots through the stubborn ground to drink the algal liqueur. Of course, the dangers of the reef are plenty, and would overwhelm most wayfarers no matter how cleanly they've mastered the compass. And so, even while visions of colored polyps burned bright in my mind, for years I had to content myself to the study of its atlases and the patchwork of letters knitted from its strange history. Being a scholar as well as a hunter, I knew this to be its own kind of journey. A variety of appellatives appear in the record dating back to before even the Sultanate. Makam Yid, alternatively just Makam or Id, the Id Rota, or simply the cluster. Translations refracted so deeply through the prism of time are rarely accurate, but they can be instructive. Makam Id resolves at something akin to the place within the place, or the place outside itself. Clarification beyond this point is perhaps forthcoming. Before being a trellis for the Coral City, the Palladium Lattice seems to have been something of a gigantic infrastructure network to the Eaters. Few were the elaborations on this point, but for the existence of a hydraulic component, and that the whole complex was aided in its construction by the monstrous Galgalim. We know they still stalk the inner reef in small numbers. The specters of this megastructure and all its cryptic aliases haunted my mind as I plied the contours of Cud Country, honing my skills as a wayfarer. Finally, come the ides of one mild Kisu Ux, it was at last my time to shove off. I shouldered my pack, slipped into my driest and springiest boots, and ventured out from Kippur in the eastern bush. The glow crow would have had me pierce the rainbow wood, but knowing better, I cleaved to the jungle edges instead. After a march of 3 days, the trees thinned, and the algae auroras of Lake Hinnom burst into sight. There was peace on the lake. The ash are beautiful. They nip their stocky legs until one daredevil takes flight, and then they surge into a sailing cloud of feathers. I settled into a quiet eastward rhythm, musing on the labyrinth of symbiotes ahead of me, until one afternoon the sky began to darken, and a clamorous thp-thp-thp rose in my ears. Immediately I knew. It was the residual gyre plague of Svardim. Sacks ranged to the ground in a blinding huff, and before I could clear the kelp tangles, they were hatching. 3 lanky frog things grabbed my shoulders, but I shoved them off and sprinted straight away. I jumped and darted, but was quickly overwhelmed, and it was only my steady paws, practiced in the maneuver, that let me fetch a sheaf of yonder cane from my pack and scarf it before my doom overtook me. I materialized in a far copse of kelp and jogged to safety. With my dreaminess rightfully shed, I eventually came to the reef proper. What an enchanting place! The maze of polyps allowed me to slink along mostly unnoticed, and take in the doings of its flora and fauna. A rich diversity of life radiates across Cud, but in the reef it flourishes on a new level. In but one hemmed-in quarter I witnessed a tetrad of kaleidoslugs round the rune-cut cone of an enigma snail, a jelly huff a cloud of plasma onto a memory eater, and a polycule of tongue tyrants devour a squad of interdictors. That is not a good collective noun for that creature, considering what they look like. I don't care for the image that puts into my head. At one point, the reef came alive, and a polyp-jeweled hermit walked out of the lattice. He grinned at me and bartered a broken handrail. When I turned my head to nod goodbye, he was gone. Bat hermit. Our experience has mostly been like a polyp-jeweled hermit walks out of the lattice and immediately opens fire on everything in the vicinity. One beetle-lit evening, a melodic ensemble rose from the northeast and suffused the sponge bed, melding with its natural sounds. Hiking toward its source, I eventually spied the green and gold pipework of the Id Freehold glowing in the night air, and excitement swelled inside of me. Of course, I'd long heard of the lyrical community nestled in the sponge, but to have a chance to see it and speak with its denizens, well, I was beside myself. The place is simply bursting with life. Under the pipe arch, I was greeted warmly by one of its Svardim elds, and after gulping down a plate of tongue and cheek, I toured the kaleidoscopic corridors of its underhalls before settling on a storm chair in the aquatic and dreamlike salon. There I puffed on a dyad of hookahs with a cyclopean frog for what seemed like 3 lifetimes. There was more to see and be seen by, but I met a clammy reception at the hands of another Svartum ancient, and was bidden an early exit. My pride prohibits me from saying more. I spent another week's cycle sketching the autochthons of the coral arcology and taking studious notes. But one final experience stays with me. As I was trudging back north toward the bush and out of the reef, I kicked a polyp off the trellis and unearthed by chance a swollen bulb of sun slag. Here I took a moment to squeeze the bright nectar into a phial, and when I once again looked up, I was met with the ageless stare of a galgal. Nothing had prepared me for it. My mind labored to make sense of what I was seeing, of what it was seeing. Gleaming wheels whipped about a hypnotic core, the spokes' prisms pulled apart the light of the high salt sun, and across the stretched sheet of iris, many eyes stared. Consciously, I was paralyzed, but some instinctual catalyst did its work, and I backed into the safety of the polyp maze and sped out. That is how I left the reef, looking into the deep eater's past, and having it look back. So the description of the galgalim, it seems like maybe galgal is singular, galgalim is the plural. But that pluralization combined with this odd thing about the many eyes does, obviously put one in mind of like a biblical angel. That's really interesting. That's a thing we've never seen before. I kicked a polyp off the trellis and unearthed by chance a swollen bulb of sun slag. I wonder if this is one of those things where it's like harvesting trees. You have to look for the one that has you have to look for ones that have a certain graphic. Maybe there is a way to earn sun slag here in the Palladium. One's called Makam Id, the place outside itself. I wonder if that's information that has any mechanical effect. Yet another flawless crystal battle axe. Why are there so many of these here? A mummified corpse. Well, I mean, this was a fascinating trip. I'm so glad we came. Let's try to find our stairs here. What is that? Night sight interpolators. Ring molds on the laminated metal frame collect ambient sensory data and use it to augment the viewing frustum. You can see 2 spaces beyond the first occluding object in your line of sight. Yo. That's a neat item. Okay. Pressurized energy feels a concussive blast around you. Okay, blast cannons. Right, yeah, they're doing blast cannon stuff. Well, I think they destroyed those night sight. No, they just moved them. I mean, I want those, but I also want to be careful. Because the blast cannons are going to fire at the cave spiders. Okay, it landed me on top of them. Let's grab them up before anything else happens, and then maybe ourselves handle these enemies. A flawless crystal warhammer. Wow. It's a lot of just loose crystal weaponry. Also, apparently I got close enough to the wall for the bats to hear us, because all of a sudden, here they all come. Because I was scything the rough hides, I will thank you later. The thing is, I was busy. Okay, there's multiple bookshelves. The thing that's happening here is there's multiple bookshelves stacked in the same space. In our ordinary atmosphere there, it is possible to arrange the elements in the fibers of inky, unkempt hair, a swath of the great bird, willow Shakespeare. What? Okay, that time we actually looted, I think, all of them. birth site and arranged itself. Once lover, now foil. Perhaps lover again. So somebody's fanfic. A sophist of the day, it filled its belly with the sap in their debt. Okay, where the hell are the stairs? This has been a blast and everything. Oh, do not turn me to stone, please. Nope. I'm on sap duty. I know my role. Oh, there's multiple. These are multiple live lithofexes. Okay. I thought some of them were husks. I'm going to bubble because I do not want to get chomped. And then we're going to use the gun a little bit. Because the gun is a very serious weapon for very serious circumstances. Turn off the bubble. Ah. The blood's already brackish, which is a shame because that's a lot of blood. Those things are... those lizards are highly pressurized. Okay, wait. Which one are you? You're the Proselytize. So beguile me a different croc. Hey, you don't need to teleport my croc out of here. You just leave him alone. Thank you. All right, so if I can hear that means it's not just a husk, right? That Lithofex is probably a real live one. Well, it turns out I don't care. Stairways. Maybe I should be more thorough in my exploration. Jesus Christ, this sucks. Step back out. Yeah, let's see if we can get some things to follow us. I was going to say, maybe we should be more thorough in our explorations. Okay, well, this is going to take a damn year, but it is an absolutely free kill on one of these apes, so I guess we'll take it just very, very slowly. Because these things are a pain. They are not easy to kill. 12 AV I'm fighting through here with what I would have to describe as a very mediocre amount of strength. I am in dueling stance. I could probably go to aggressive stance. Broadly, I like being in dueling stance because the plus hit is nice. But we're not having any trouble hitting here. Come on, any second now. Okay. Ow! Alright, well that was 118 damage. I might engage the force bubble here, just to make sure, first of all, that no saps sneak up on me. And secondly, that no crocs are hurled at me with such force as to annihilate my entire being. Oh, shit. Well... Place cell... Okay, the radio-powered ones have had time to recharge. Hey, could you maybe not just, wander into my force field? I didn't know they were allowed to do that. I sure did show that Arc Sconce who's boss. Yeah, if they're able to just step through a force field, I would wonder why they didn't do it before. Because they've definitely had lots of opportunity and reason. This is pretty bad. This I don't care for. I'm about to get punched very hard. Let's precog just in case. And then they'll just resist if I try to fear them. But if I teleport, hopefully we can get our croc to handle the situation. It's attacking the wrong one. And now they're trying to flank me. Okay, he managed to kill that ape. $37, huh? Okay, force bubble now? Okay, so see, the force bubble does push them back. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it was just one of them was able to push through. Maybe it had like a unusual piece of gear or slain by ape fist. What a way to go. Hit the shale. Yep, these things are a nightmare. Let's just grab some books. I don't want to spend too many turns standing here in this hallway. Alright, menacing stare on approach. Resist becoming afraid. I thought that might happen. Here we go. We'll just walk backwards through the acid. It's a move we haven't used in a while. But yeah, like 58 damage. We really do. We pump out some fucking crazy garbage. Boy, that thing discharges quickly. I need more power cells, y'all. We gotta find some, what do you call it? We gotta find some antimatter cells. Actually, my power needs are like getting very unreasonable. Beguile. Hooray, new friends. I do so need friends. You know what I haven't done? I haven't even once tried to temporal fugue. Celetize. Welcome back, Crocodile Twins. Earthly punishments its deviser sought to plunder. If you'll stand by, I will tell my kin of these wet-eared cubs were merely sketches in their pocket at this time. What a sick burn. Black fullerite, merely dense. This is a noir detective story for sure, right? Editor's note, the following is a modest church. Its great bazaar a junk sale? Look about you. I'm sure a village will host these slinth, but it's because we love star apples. I mean, it's a classic. It's incredible. It's you know, it's Chandler. It's a little bit of Conan Doyle. It's brilliant. All right, this could be, and maybe should be, the bottom floor. I don't think I've ever seen one be deeper than this. Okay, you're just a random Arcanaut. Do you happen to have anything fun on you? No, I wouldn't have thought so. That's just some oil. Who cares? Is that a dromad? Huh. Hostile caravan guard. Why is that caravan guard hostile? Fullerite flake armor, counterweighted fullerite battle axe. Some heavy equipment, dude. It's just a random mechanamite preacher. Mechanimist preacher. Answer not a Beetle who makes a request of you. Oh, I didn't realize that I was not supposed to. I've been doing that. It's been great, actually. Have you considered just doing it? Because it's kind of rad. Oh, apparently I need to be more specific. Also, I don't... The cycle flesh gun does make me a little uncomfortable. So wait, can I... How do I do this? If I want to use this... Oh, yeah, auto collect. Okay, so it'll just pick up whatever. Anytime we step on the appropriate thing, it'll do the work for me. That's good. Afterglow succeeding sunset. But because this instrument consists of ether waves, is traceable back in spoofed concordance with the Godhead. Well, I think we know what instrument they're talking about, given that title and also that bit about the Godhead. Doze in moonlit marble, judging by evidence gathered from my head. Source, I made it up. It's the most powerful evidence because I already believe it. Do I want a linear cannon? I mean, 2d12 is a lot of base damage. And maybe it is exactly the thing. It feels like we should probably take it. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of weight management here. Which is fair, because I haven't in a while. You know what? I'm gonna try. I don't trust this flesh gun. I don't like having it around. It makes me uncomfortable. It was very light, so we didn't really get a lot of value out of doing that, but it's just grossing me out. I guess I probably don't need to be carrying around 10 pounds of faces. I like my visage, is the thing. Like, I know we could get more psychically powerful by wearing ego faces. Also, am I just carrying 5 pounds of trash around? How did that happen? We do have a lot of guns on us. You know, one thing I could do is I could just tinker, because we picked up Willowy at some point, and I don't think I've ever actually used it. I wish on this screen... Okay, I can see the weight of things that don't have that much descriptive text. What is something that we're likely to hold on to for a while that's heavy? My gas tumbler. Honestly, that is the thing we are likely to hold on to for sure. The linear cannon itself... Probably the first target, actually. Okay, with those two things together done, yeah, we're back at 317. All right, nobody has turned to stone. Oh. Can we please be cool? They're really just like, they're not frenzied. That's the other thing about it that's so frustrating, is that like it's happening, I think, because they're marked as frenzied, but they're very clearly not frenzied. They're doing a great job just kind of hanging out and being good-tempered croc friends. Quattravolt glider. Pretty cool. It's a pretty cool kind of dude. That's one of those memory eaters, which is probably neutral to us, and which could very well be in the same room as the... jewel-encrusted musket, you don't say. Well, I don't think you're going to musket your way out of that problem, sir. Perhaps even more Zetachrome weapon. Attuned creature to the hiding place of the ruin of House Isner, where I stored it somewhere 6 parasangs north of Red Rock. Advice that we have heard before. I guess we could go back and look again. Doesn't seem likely to be right. Just out of curiosity, looking here. Okay, none of this stuff is worth taking. Honestly, probably not even the stuff we took, but at least it was, you know, weightless. Oh, and now the memory eater is on the move. And it's causing problems for me. I guess we'll go down these stairs. Or these stairs. Go down this hall. A statue? Okay, not new. I mean, we could probably just go down, right? 7 strata deep. This has got to be the end. Okay, step back out. Let's try to only have to deal with one of these things per turn, ideally. You have 71 HP left. Blast you with the phase cannon just once. Point blank. Maybe don't step over here, you big idiot. That was strange. The doorway was phased for just a moment when we stepped over. Yep, hate that. Permanent loss of stats. Completely unavoidable. Let's try stepping down this way. Also precog. Stupid ogre ape making everything awkward. Okay. Let's try to adjust this so that, there we go. So that the laser doesn't enter the space north of this last space we can see. I am not trying to sit down in this chair. When you press the smart use button, it assumes you want to sit in the chair, which there's like a version of that that makes sense, right? Like, okay, a chair, you use chair. But also, on the other hand, it's Caves of Cud, whoever wants to sit down. Who has ever had that thought? Right, I want to just... Oh, see, no, I stepped in the blood there and it didn't collect it. Is it because I adulterated it by stepping? No, it's still unadulterated. Huh, that auto-collect is not really working the way I was expecting. Why on earth would my first target... I pressed the button for the laser and then fire, because there's an enemy right in front of me, and the consistent behavior for that has been target, close enemy, and attack. But that time, for some reason, my target was one of the crocs that is my friend. Just really bizarre moment there. All right, random rocket turret. Here we have the lustrous gaw of the silos of Cana. Fabricates one astral tabby cognitively altered to like you. Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. That's a thing we could already do on our own, frankly. Ooh, look at that fellow. Look at that mysterious motherfucker. Hated by the consortium of Phyta. Well, you know what? They're about to have their day in court. I'm going to back up before the rocket launcher starts firing. Okay, never mind. Y'all handled it. There's a bunch of glitter bench in there, too. What is going on in this hall? Crocs just aren't interested in the archdervish of this. Okay. All right. I feel like we should care about this. So I'm going to care about him to death. Okay, there we go. Good charge. Solid charge. I'm going to back up because I want a force bubble. I want to make sure he has a space to get pushed back into. Rejoinder, indeed. A psionic crystale dagger. So it dissipates after some use, not just time, right? I'm going to take it. Oh. I think I got one of those orbs happened. Okay, so we got a bunch of glitter menches in here. I don't love this. I'm gonna teleport back a couple of steps. I don't need to be up close and personal with this much glitter mensch. Yeah, did one of those... No, this was not a sprouting orb. It is not at all clear to me what happened that created all that wall. There's some mysterious stuff going on around here. I guess we could just leave, though. Looting all jewels from the homes of beetles and frogs, he became known as the Canopsaro. Huh. A hydraulic press and a pumping station. Seen from the life of her chef, but yeah, it's just when he got his name, the ghosted cerulean. Inflicts periodic damage to occupant. Must spend a turn exiting before moving. Contains plumbing enabling... So, what does it do? It's just... You could get in there and get hydraulic pressed. I wonder if there's ever a reason that you would need to hydraulic press something. Like if there's ever a call to find a hydraulic press and put something into it. All right, I think we probably got what there is to get here, but I'm pretty jazzed about it. We may have learned a way to get sunslag. It feels like an awfully pointed story, right? For it to just be decorative text. But I guess let's go ahead and teleport back to the freehold. And we went through a lot of power there, but we didn't actually spend anything, right? Except some blood. All of the stuff that we spent though is like very recoverable. Okay, this time we legitimately did not get a refresh notice, although we did get refresh notices about some of the fellas down here. So if we wanted to do that, that change over to using axes as part of our, as part of a dismemberment strategy against the enemy mech, we know that that's available to us now. We have a pretty okay weapon for it. Crocodiles are making me nervous as hell. Yeah, you don't have anything particularly compelling. If she did, we'd probably want to like take one of our crocodiles outside and free him and then do the thing, you know, but I think as things stand, I guess let's just, before we end the episode here, this one has gotten long, but we picked up some extra stuff to do at the beginning. Before we end the episode here, let's real quick visit you. Plasma Grenade Mark III. Is this a Tinker 2 recipe? Yes, and in fact, it's one I already know. We can learn how to make ergonomic chairs. Could make my own electro bows, and then maybe we could use our crafting mask and get some kind of weird traits on them. But I'd certainly prefer to see, you know, a higher quality of weaponry there. We're just gonna head back up to the stilt. Sure. Kapad. Oh. Auto Explorer took me adjacent to space-time portal. Don't love that. Okay, so this is a location where there's just like a bunch of space-time portals hanging out. Being kept in place, you know, steady, no doubt. But, yeah. Seems bad. Seems bad and dangerous. Just want to see if there's a chest. Well, books. Books are like a chest. At dusk under an eddy and flares in the east, because as the chosen of chosen, and if those friends desire shelter, I wouldn't know when the wind had changed, bringing down the sacred joining, our argent fathers, how far-reaching your works. It's a very long, it's somebody doing their own very, very long intro. The elements, therefore, may be warped by the westerly winds out of 10 meals, and the driest for 25 years. Certainly, no doubt of that. Okay, it seems like there's not even a chest here. Let us. I guess first of all we can drop off some books, some fascinating reads here. Okay, 10K. Decent. That's a chunk of the level. All right, we're just nope, not the gutsmonger. We're just here to ask our friend Master of Liquids if he's got any of those sweet, sweet liquids that we need. And the answer is no, but I feel a lot less hopeless on that front than I did last time, provided that this turns out not to be just a weird story. There's a schematics drafter in here somewhere too, right? Yeah, this is the screen. May as well visit. You always got to make the circuit around the back to make sure nobody's, Huh. A thick metal jacket encases the explosive and is clamped to a quick-release lever. It's etched with a bouquet of explosive arrows, and it rattles under its own weight. You just build, Tinker 3 just build a nuke, why don't you? Unfortunately, we're further from that than we've ever been. On account of our... I learned this already, right? Yeah. This character has seen jacked available so many times. I'll just take this. We have the water to make that trade. Don't think we need Spray a Brain because we have the Neuro Animator thing. Okay, we've still not really found anything where it's like it would be exciting to tinker a few and see if we can get something weird going on them, I don't think. Which is a shame. Okay. So unfortunately, in any event, this was a little bit of a bust in some ways. The artifact was basically entirely useless. We can already get ourselves an Astral Tabby. I guess this allows me to have one that isn't my Beguile or my Proselytize, so then we can have a third aggressive pet, which is, but obviously one that's only useful in very certain circumstances. I don't know. I guess it's cool. When you come back next time, I think we maybe are going to delve down to the bottom of the asphalt caverns just to see if there is Sunslag down there. It should be like pretty much instant to get to the bottom, get back down to where we got to, since I now, all the paths are marked out. And I'm a little bit curious whether or not we could take one of those magma crabs at this point. So come back next time for perhaps some experimentation in that direction. And we'll see you then.